Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing with the Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. So, as you can see here, I have brought the Empire, and I'm actually against the Beastmen. So, let's see how that goes. So, I've got my, beautiful 2 Amber Wizard build here with Volkmar the Grim, and mix it up a little bit. So, front line, just the 3 great swords. I've got Sigmar Sons in the front, so a bit of melee damage, they can absorb the charge, the great swords can run through it, and they're not going to go anywhere. So nice stable front line, the shock isn't going to make anyone run away. Also got 2 units of spearmen on the sides, a few chevrons in them, just to, keep them steadier. I've also got some demigryph knights with halberds for anything big, and also got some free company militia with a few chevrons in. So I'm hoping that these guys will be able to shoot over into, minotaurs or whatever. They don't have armor piercing, but it'll add up. And, yeah, if they bring, way too many Gors for me to handle in the front line and try and flank me or anything, then I don't have, vulnerable handgunners or something. These guys can still put up a fight in melee. So, I think that should help me out a bit, especially with Volkmar, doing loads of buffs on, physical resistance and all sorts. Should keep these guys fighting. So, straight away, I see there's some harpies over here, so I'll be making a beeline for them with my Amber Wizards while I describe what else is going on. So he's also got a really cool flanking force here of 2 Razor Gore herds, so these guys will hit really hard. And you'll see actually, even against demigryph knights, they do a lot of damage actually on the charge. So pretty cool. And his main line here, so he's got Ungor spearmen on either side, and in the middle he's got a load of Gore herd with shields, which is always good against the Empire, and that missile resistance and the extra melee defense is really useful in the front line. He's also got 2 Gore bulls, obviously these guys pack a wallop, very dangerous. And he's also got Morghur the Shadow Gave, so he'll be able to summon Chaos Spawn, stuff like that. Then in the back, he's got a Bestigor herd, and he's got Korok's Man Rippers, which will be, really good against Volkmar, actually. So I've got to watch out for that. So, let's speed things up. So, straight away, like I said, coming in here, you'll see I'll get a charge, and I'll use Flock of Doom, because both these guys have got Flock of Doom, which will be very useful for me. And, yeah, come on, guys, come on. They will turn about in a second. They'll realise I'm gaining on them and change their mind. Silly harpies. Here we go. So you'll see they will actually do a fair bit of damage to this Amber Wizard, but it's fine because I can keep him out of the fight if need be. I can just have him flying around, above everyone, terrifying. So you can see a ton of damage there on that unit from the charge and everything. And now these ones are taking a lot of damage too. So that's pretty sweet. But you can see the Razor Gore herds are coming in here, and there's 2 of them, and I've only got the 1 unit of cavalry, so this is a bit annoying. Ideally, obviously I'm going to try and bring the spearmen in, but ideally I want spearmen and demigryph knights to attack 1 unit, so this could get messy. So you see the harpies are back, but they're both very damaged, so they're not going to be as threatening anymore. So, so yeah, come in here, and you see I actually take more damage from the charge than he does, which I found really surprising. But unfortunately, he's got another unit coming around. I've actually turned these guys about. Oh no, now I have. If you press J, they just turn around, which is really useful. So you'll see these guys will shoot into them a bit, and they don't have the most armor, but that's not doing a huge amount of damage, as you can see. Actually, fair bit for 1 volley, but I will take a lot of damage from that. So I send Volkmar in, and those Razor Gore have been shattered already, so I come in with spearmen and everything, and these guys are going to go very quickly. Luckily, they don't have the best leadership, so Terra is brilliant against Razor Gore herds. Because, yeah, what's their leadership? Hard to tell, it's -98, okay. I don't think I've ever seen leadership that low before. So here, he still hasn't realised it's Harpy's bag, that's good. So he starts coming to the front line. You can see, though, he's kept things in reserve a lot, which doesn't really do well for the Beastmen, actually. As the Beastmen, you want to bring all of your stuff in together. Like, the Gore, the Gore Bulls are way back there. So he's coming in really piecemeal, so he's letting me get the numbers on him, which you don't want to do if you're playing as, as the Beastmen. You want to smash with everyone. So I get a Flock of Doom on this side, and then I did a Flock of Doom on this side. So obviously, the Great Sword's doing great against these guys in the middle. Morghur comes in here, so Sigmar Sons are taking all the damage from these Gore herd, but they're not going to run away, so it's fine. They can just stay there. And also, big exposed flank here. It would have been good for one of these guys to run further and try and get in, because for some reason my Great Swords ran sideways, which wasn't intentional. So my Great Swords are under attack from the Gore Bulls. They're not going to do well there, so I run them away. I don't mind them taking damage as they get away, but they need to get away. So you can see here, this Gore Bull goes straight for my free company. So I get the other free company shooting at him, and you'll see I'll get the demigryph knights on him too. So more Flock of Doom comes down. I'm using all of my buffs from Volkmar as we go here. But Volkmar is now being attacked by the Korok's Man Rippers, who are going to hurt. So now the Harpies come in after the free company, but these guys no pushover in melee, so they will actually fight the Harpies fairly well. so I'm not too worried about that. And now I'm bringing the spearmen round this way as well, so I've got some extra spearmen helping. So, you know, they can't just recharge into the back here. So you can see the other Gorbals coming in, but the first one's almost gone. And the Demogryph Knights are actually having a great time here, fighting them. Much better than the Razor Gore herd, actually. So here, I've still got these guys in spare. I was expecting more charges, but nothing much is happening. So I pulled Volkmar out because I don't want him fighting Korok's Man Rippers, but you can see Korok's Man Rippers aren't doing particularly well against Sigmar Sons and the Great Swords in tandem there. So, which is pretty good, honestly. I've seen Korok's Man Rippers do wonders against the Great Swords. So here, I go in on Morghur, because he's taken quite a bit of damage already, so I want to make sure that happens. I use another Flock of Doom, which hits basically everybody. And I also use a Banishment over here from Volkmar. I love this spell. It does really well against the Beastmen. It does a ton of damage. So that's really good. And against, you know, lighter ones, it's really good. Although that doesn't seem to have done as much damage as I was expecting. But I guess, you know, it wandered off. So that's a bit of a pity. So another Flock of Doom comes down. You can sense a pattern here, right? So I've got these two both pointing this way in case anything turns up. But here I've chased down his Gorbal with the Demogryph Knights and the Spearmen. He tried to pull out, or maybe he ran away and I caught him again. I'm not sure. Also, I chased off the Harpies. The other Gorbal shattered, so now I'm bringing my other wizard back. And now all of my big units are going to go for Morghur. So Morghur against 2 Griffins and Volkmar on his war altar. That's not a good fight for him. Also, Korok's Man Rippers, they're really good, but they're not immune to terror. So they've been terrified away. Over here as well, another Flock of Doom comes down. So these Great Swords are now fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 1 unit Great Sword, 6 units. But they've all come at me from one side. If you try to surround, you know, these guys wouldn't have held up. But because they're just fighting on one front, they can kill as many as they like. So you'll see they get hundreds of kills. Let's have a look now. So 120 kills already. And here I've got my free company pointing at these guys. So Chaos Spawn, you know, not a lot of armor. They got 15 armor. So these guys should be able to hit him quite easily. Although they don't seem to be firing, which is annoying. Come on, guys. Come on. What are you doing? So, yeah. So things are going pretty well. So Morghur, he's routing and he's shattered. These guys, another Flock of Doom goes on them, which is a shame because I was actually just sending Volkmar in to use a Grand Soulfire to try and kill some. Because Volkmar hasn't actually got a lot of kills yet, which is very sad. So, but yeah, there we go, it all breaks. So, yeah, against the Beastmen, the Amber Wizards are probably the most valuable thing. Although you'll see they didn't do the most damage. They did help against, you know, the Lord and other big things. They got a few kills, but they did massive, like, area of effect damage. On the front line, and because there's 2 of them, and you know, Flock of Doom is very cheap, I was just constantly whittling away at the health. It's like when you bring the Rune of Wrath and Ruin as the dwarves, you know, you're just constantly putting damage down. You know, the longer the battle goes on, the more you get out of it. So, really useful. But the main thing about them is those Griffins cause terror. And there's not a lot the Beastmen can do to, you know, to protect against that. So, you know, you get the odd leadership buffs, but they don't last very long. So as soon as that disappears, their leadership drops, and then they all get terrified away. So it's really good at just scaring off, you know, units again and again and again, so long as your front line can hold. And it will if you've got someone, you know, who get completely wiped out. Poor Sigmar's Sons. But yeah, if you've got, you know, someone who isn't going to rout to the front line, you've got some, what are they called? I want to say indestructible. What am I talking about? What are they called? Unbreakable. There we go. Yeah, if you've got unbreakable units in the front, then you're going to do quite well. You can't rely on them because the weapon damage is so high, and all the Empire can bring is Sigmar Sons and, like, Flagellants that are unbreakable in the front line, and they're just going to get torn to pieces. But the Great Swords, they're going to hold really well, especially if you've got Volkmar in the front, just buffing everything constantly. These guys will do serious work. I mean, 148 kills by the end there. That was fantastic. And also the Free Company Militia, you know, they didn't get a huge amount of kills, but I didn't have to worry about protecting them too much, which is great against the Beastmen, because the Beastmen get everywhere. And yeah, you know, a lot of their units, like the Centaur and stuff like that, they're not armoured, so you get a volley into them before they charge you. They're going to be really weakened. They will do a lot of damage to the Free Company Militia, mind you, if they do hit, but you can do a lot of damage to them, you know, with shots fired. And if you're not having to protect them, and they can just shoot whatever, then they can be shooting at Gorbals. Again, you know, no armor piercing. But yeah, I think Free Company Militia are actually a good pick for this one, because they don't get a lot of use. But I think with this kind of build, they are very useful, especially when you got something really mobile, like your Amber Wizards and your Demogryph Knights. They can just dive on anything that's going for them, you know, really effortlessly. Yeah, it makes it really interesting. So I like this build. Obviously, Reaper X88, he did send in things a bit piecemeal. He didn't go for that one big shock attack, you know, which I think would have helped him a lot. And you know, trying to get his Gorbals to go for Volkmar rather than trying to get in the back line, because you know, a back line, you know, those free company, you know, they can look after themselves, but they're not going to do a huge amount of damage. You know, they're not the most dangerous thing in the world. You don't need to get on top of them quickly. By doing that, he just left his Gorbals exposed to, you know, my Demigryph Knights, which you don't want to do. So yeah, so a few mistakes there, but you know, it's a fun match. I really like this army actually, because yeah, you don't often see Razor Gores, so it was really good to see them, and you know, Gorbals, and love Morghur, and yeah, similar front line to me really with the, you know, the Gore herd, and you know, a couple of Bestigor in there. The Harpies give a lot of utility. Unfortunately, I had flying units, so he wasn't able to sort of, you know, charge them into, you know, cannons or whatever. But Harpy's very good for shutting down ranged units, you know, on that charge, so you don't take damage before you hit the front line. So they're very useful. Same with like bats and things, you know. But yeah, really cool. So yeah, I like this build. I might have to give something like this a go. I do like it. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.